You can make tons of money on Google, but it's changed. Everything has changed because of AI, and it's a big difference. So check out this chart. We're going to go over it later, but do you see over here above my head, this line, the top line is impressions, and this is a big website, right? How can a website get increased impressions, yet their click-through rate, right, the bottom one, keeps going down and down? And that's the problem most websites have to overcome. Now, this video is going to be dedicated to Google in 2025, how to rank, because if you can rank your website, you can make a lot of money. Because remember, a lot of people have given up. A lot of people just threw in the towel. And if you don't throw in the towel and you figure this out, there's less competition right now. And this video is all about how to make money. Now, if we come over to Google and we type in what's the best beach in Malta, right? What are we met with? Do you see this right here? AI overview. And if I click show more, it gives us a lot of information. This is Google's AI response to ChatGPT because they are afraid, assumably they're afraid to lose market share to ChatGPT. This is their response. But this is a huge problem for who? For people who have websites, because the user has to scroll down to click on one of these websites. So that's the problem, and it's a huge problem. Now, what's the solution? And the solution is multifaceted. We're going to go over a bunch of things quickly. So Matt Diggity, who also has a YouTube channel on SEO, put out this thread recently, and it really got my brain going, and it actually prompted this video. I think it's great. So check out his channel as well. So Google in 25, how to rank. Number one, what we're going to do is target conversational queries. What does this mean? Basically, if Google is going to have all this AI content up here, well, at the very best, we want to rank on the right side. How are these websites ranking over there? Because now they are gobbling up all the traffic, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to come over to ChatGPT and we're going to say, I'm writing an article on the thing. And on this thing, it's the best beaches in Malta. Here's the PAA/related searches, and we have this list. So if you look at this list right here, do you see this? If you're to scroll down on anything you want to rank for, this works for any website, come down here to related searches, right? Okay, you can copy and paste those in ChatGPT, and then here's the goal. Target conversational queries. Now, this right here, I just copy and pasted all of this, right? So the quick win is mine. People also asked for your seed topic and slot those questions in as H2 with concise answers. So we're going to hit enter. Just like that, we have something to work with. Now, remember, this is just a starting point, but it's important to know why we do it this way. So the question, what are the best beaches in Malta for swimming? What it did, it bolded the primary related search, and this works for people also asks as well. Now, remember, in our prompt over here, we said by matching the exact phrasing users speak or type. In other words, we are trying to emulate, the writing of the article is trying to emulate how people actually talk, like this. No longer do we need to have very rigid ways of speaking and writing. So the best swimming beaches in Malta have calm, clear water and easy access from the shore. This place is famous for its gentle waves and clean water, making it perfect. It's very good, right? That's very, very good writing. It's concise. It hits the points. Where can I find photos of Malta beaches? To get a real feel for each spot, check online travel blogs or Malta's official tourism site. Now, that's how people talk. That's how we talk. We want it to be more conversational. Now, number two is a very, very controversial one because Google forever said you need EAT, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And there's an extra E nowadays. At one point in time, I thought this was the golden ticket, right? There's websites that got their traffic destroyed, and I've seen, and this is the interesting part, I lost faith for a while on this, but I've seen websites. All they did was focus on author bios, case studies, certifications, these type of things, and they force-fed Google their EEAT. And guess what? Their traffic bounced back. I'm not saying every website can bounce back, but I've seen websites only focus on this right here, and their traffic went to the absolute moon, more so than they had previous to HCU 2 years ago, or however long it's been. Now, before we go on, if you have a website and you need help with this, if you want to rank your website higher than ever before, if you want to have a professional firm help you, come to my website, Jesse Cunningham SEO. You're going to scroll down here all the way where it says, let's work together. Put your name, email, your website, and what's your goals. It will email me directly, and then we can start a conversation. Now, number three is super important, and you should have been doing this all along, so we're going to be quick. Structure with clear headings. So both AI parsers and end users skim an article for structure. What does that mean? Basically, when I come to your website, I'm going to be a lazy reader. You have to assume everyone who comes to your website is hyper lazy because that's just the world we live in. We don't have time. We are in a rush always. So if we come over here, this is, I don't really like those. I asked ChatGPT to come up with something, but this is a better example. So H1, this is how a website should be structured, is the page title. H2 is a question or major section. And then H3 is a nested subject subpoint under that particular question. I do not go down to H4s. I only stick to H1, 2, and 3. Now, number 4 is one of my favorite. Be direct and concise. I try to make these videos like that. I try to have my words on my websites be as direct and concise as possible. How do you know when you have a good paragraph? It has no extra words at all. Every single word has a purpose, and the purposes can vary. So, quick win, challenge each paragraph. Can you express its core idea in a single plain English sentence? If you are just having words to have words to bulk it out, that is absolutely terrible. And I'll go a step further. Back in the day, right, when people hired firms to write for them, right? Do you remember that before AI? And still happens today. People would bulk out their paragraphs, right? You would get a blog article back that was just fluff. Fluff doesn't rank. You need to be as direct and concise as possible, and AI will reward you. Now let's go off script a little bit. This is a website called The Conversation. I don't know much about the website. I wanted to take a website in this video and just kind of uncover what they're doing well right now, because if we come back over here, right, and we look at what this website actually is all about, it has a really good traffic graph. In other words, these guys are making a lot of money, even though the whole AI updates, the HCU updates, these guys have figured it out. Right? This says they could be making upwards of $800,000 per month, and I bet you it's much more than that, because a proper website, when combined with social media, combined with email blasts, this is just scratching the surface. But we look here, DR is 91 out of 100. So that's the domain rating of the website. So this is a very powerful website because many backlinks point to it. Oftentimes, backlinks still can power a website to places it's never been before. It's very important to have backlinks to your website. How you do this is organically, or you pay for them. So if we come back over to this right here, The Conversation, this article was made today. I don't really care what it's about, but I want to look at the content itself. So come here, when the computer or phone, blah, 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 da-da-da. Like, that's how people talk. If we read this, this is exactly how people talk. It's concise. Right? Here's a sentence right here. At the recycling center, powerful magnets will pull out steel. That's a very simple and concise sentence. Spinning drums will toss aluminum into bins. Now, if you look closer, there's a bit more here, but remember, Google values concise and direct information. So if we come over here, right, look to the left, we have all of the socials. We have Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, all of it. And then to the right, we have the author. So if I click here on Terrence, I'm going to come to his profile. Right? Do you remember EEAT I was talking about earlier? I thought it was the golden ticket, and then I kind of lost faith. I think it really is strong with websites nowadays. So Terrence Musho profile, his articles, right? His activity, all these different things. It has, you know, he's been to, where is it? The Experience. He's an associate professor at West Virginia University. Websites will hire people just because of their credentials, right? Why? Because they want to rank higher on Google. Now, like I said, I've never been to The Conversation, but I find this so fascinating. So if you come to the top of the website, you can click Become an Author. Can you write for The Conversation? So if I scroll in a bit here, can you see this? To be published by The Conversation, you must currently be employed as a researcher or academic with a university or research institution. PhD candidates under supervision are good, but we don't allow master's students in here. That is absolutely wild. So everyone who writes for this has huge EEAT. And to all that I have to say is prove it, right? Prove it. Because imagine if you are Google. Google is saying prove it to every single website. Prove it, right? You think you're an authority? Prove it. Show me. Show me. Because maybe you are. Maybe you do have a master's or PhD, but are you properly showing Google, right? Prove it. You have to force feed Google every single thing. And this comes down to schema. Right? Schema is like the language behind the website. Can you do it properly? The actual words on the screen, the images, are they optimized? The list goes on. It can get pretty intense, but you need to, as a business owner, as a website owner, prove it. And if you can do that, you'll make more money than you could ever imagine. Because remember, a lot of people have given up on Google, but there's huge opportunity still. And if you want a professional firm to help you, come to my website. I'll have a link in the description, jessecunningham.seo.com. You can check out my book on Amazon as well. It's all about SEO. Come down here, type your name, email your website, and what's your goals, and we can go from there. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.